What's going on, YouTube? It's me, your friendly neighborhood King Zappa, and welcome to Zapp Talks episode number 8. Before I go ahead and get into answering you guys' questions, I'd like to send a special shout out to everybody who has been sending in their questions with each and every Zapp Talks episode that we do. Many of you guys have been asking questions since the very first episode, since I revived this series, so thanks for your participation, and you guys are actually starting to ask me more and more interesting questions as time goes on, not the same, rehashed terrible questions every single time. So let's go ahead and answer some of these really interesting questions. This first one comes from Illyrion Horizon, and he asks, do you think there will be a point in the future where gamers get along despite console or genre preferences, or is it too far gone? Basically, he's asking me, will we ever get to a point where there are no fanboys and no bickering and no arguing? And to that, I say no. As long as there are two or more companies vying for a specific market or target audience, there are always going to be people who show loyalism and bias to one company or another. That's just the way it is. As far back as I can remember, back in the SNES and Genesis days, there's always been favoritism and fanboyism. It's just that nowadays, with different social media, live streams, uh, you know, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, all that stuff, forums, it's easier for people to voice their opinions, uh, mostly the negative ones, and have it get attention. You know, it seems like you can't go to a video game review without seeing a bunch of hate in the comment section from a bunch of people who are against that game because it's on a specific console that is not their favored console. So, nah, man. Unfortunately, as long as we have more than one company out there, doing video games, we're always going to have fanboys and fangirls in the background. This next one comes from Talking Dog, and he asks, if you were to get stuck inside a survival horror game and you had to beat it to get out, which one would you most dread being stuck in? That's a really good one. Let's see. Which survival horror game would I dread being stuck in the most? It would probably be the first Dead Space and Doom 3, like a tie between the two. Um, the main reason why I say that is because both games had that really claustrophobic atmosphere where, you're walking down these narrow corridors and the enemy can come at you from anywhere, you know. Um, Enemies that can attack you from a vent, from a crawl space in the ground, um, or in the case of Doom, they can come out of portals and just attack you out of nowhere. If I was stuck in a video game like that, I would find the smallest room, hide in that mug, and have a gun pointed at the door. That would be me. I would never get through that game. I would be stuck in there forever. I'm not really the type that condones suicide, so I probably wouldn't end up killing myself, but I would just never finish the game. Never. So yeah, Dead Space and Doom 3 tied. This next one comes from Papa Docs, and he asks, how do you feel about CM Punk walking out on the WWE? Um, I have mixed feelings about that. From a wrestling fan standpoint, I think it sucks that he left because um, right now the current talent that we have doesn't have the total package. We have a lot of really good athletes on the roster, but not all of them are entertaining to listen to. Whereas, you got CM Punk, who was one of the rare occasions and one of the rare exceptions to that rule. He could do both. And his absence is definitely felt by a lot of us. There's definitely that hole there without CM Punk. However, on the personal level, I think that it's great that he's actually finally able to stop and have time to himself and rest and feel better. Because a lot of people don't understand that these wrestlers, they take years away from the road. They don't really get to go home very often. So they spend so much time away from home, just putting their bodies through so much hell night in and night out. And they do it for us. So it's good that Punk is finally able to relax and enjoy himself. And when I saw him on The Talking Dead a couple weeks ago, he looked better than I've seen him in a long time. So, you know, I feel glad that he's taking a break, but at the same time, I feel like, God damn, would you please come back, please? This next one comes from Renee Vargas, and he asks, "Hey Zap, what are your thoughts on the Kingdom Hearts series, and have you ever played a Kingdom Hearts game?" I have played a Kingdom Hearts game, and I think Kingdom Hearts is boring and overrated. Yes, I said it. Hate me now. This next one comes from I'm Nomad, and he asks, "What's your thoughts on other fighting game channels and helping each other and the FGC as a whole?" To be honest with you, I don't watch very many fighting game channels. I really don't. I'm not subscribed to anyone unless it is Free One Up, uh, Spooky, or Arturo. I just don't follow other fighting game channels for the most part. Um, so I don't really watch them. And as far as other channels getting together and working with one another, that only works under certain circumstances. The two channels that are collaborating with each other have to have games or at least one game in common to where their fan base would actually want to go and check out the other person's content. Um, and two, both uploaders have to have differences, very distinct differences between the two of them, and that makes them actually want to go and watch the other person. You know, the way I am is totally different from the way True Talent is, which would make it easy for people to go back and forth between watching my videos and watching True Talents. So yeah, I think in the case of True Talent and myself, I guess it could work, but it's not something I would just jump out and do. You know, there's a sense of pride that I have knowing that my channel was built off of my own hard work. Um, but I think it could help the channels, but I don't think it really does much for the FGC though. That's just my opinion. This one comes from Bill Nye, not the science guy. He asks, "What do you enjoy doing on your free time?" In my free time, I like to sleep a lot. I love sleeping. Like, I literally spent 5 years in the military not being able to get a good night's rest because I was always on the Navy's time, right? I was never on my time. I was always on the Navy's time 24/7. So, whenever I get the chance to, I sleep. That's pretty much what I do. And if I can't sleep, um, I'm usually up watching old wrestling matches or reading the Walking Dead comic books. Like I don't know how many times I've read that series from start to finish, but yeah, that's pretty much what I do in my spare time. Um, this next one comes from God Tutu, and he asks, "What's your least favorite fighting game that you've played?" Killer Instinct on Xbox One. Yeah. This next one comes from Jacoby Bryant. "Does YouTube pay you for your videos?" No, they do not. Fullscreen does, which is why you see that big, loud intro in the majority of my videos, because they are who I am partnered with. And this last question comes from Max Akira. He asks, "Zap, are you a fan of Godzilla? If so, what do you think about the upcoming film?" Um, I am a fan of Godzilla. I love monster movies. Um, and speaking of which, I thought Cloverfield was an amazing monster movie for what it was, and it was definitely a throwback to old monster movies, which we hadn't seen for a while up until that point. I'm also a huge fan of The Host, the Korean movie, the Korean monster movie. I thought that was a really good one. Um, thank God I worked at Hollywood Video and I was able to watch that movie. Otherwise, I probably would have never known it existed. But yeah, I'm a huge fan of monster movies, and I'm glad to see that they are bringing back Godzilla, and it's looking very promising. The trailer for it looked amazing, so I'm definitely going to see that movie in theaters, and yeah, hopefully there's not too many little brats running around the theater ruining the goddamn movie for me. And no overweight black chick in the corner talking about don't go in there, don't open that door. Well, why does bitch go outside though? Oh, white people. Yeah, I don't need none of that shit in the movie there. But yeah, I'm definitely hyped about Godzilla. But thank you guys for watching. If you guys have any questions that you would like for me to answer in Zapp Talks episode 9, feel free to leave it in the comment section below this video, and let me know what you guys thought. Thank you guys for watching. I'm out. Peace.